Hello friends and family and welcome to my channel. My name is Magnus and this is Green Machine Sweden. Today I'm kind of upgrading, downgrading, normal grading my light for the terrarium. In this terrarium I have run for the last 5 or 6 years a really good looking unit that really should be exposed and visible. So my plan is to move it down to my basement and use it for my upcoming aquarium build. And I've been hesitating because this unit I have today is quite cool. It's a lot of features with what's called dusk and dawn and moonlight cycle and every cool features. So I've been looking around for something that I can build myself, and I think I have came up with a solution. Let's take a closer look at it. So right here I have prepared the main gear that I need for this build. First of all, we have the dusk LED strips, I think 20 watt each. And they always come with a aluminum reflector to get the heat away and reflect the light into the terrarium. So this is a programmable LED timer. It will help us to simulate that dusk and dawn feeling and I don't know, not for sure, but maybe moonlight in the future. For all this we need a power supply. And since power supply is open, we need a cap to protect it. And before I dig into it, I just gonna tell you that the high current part of this build is not something that I'm happy to share with you. If you have the knowledge to do it, you know how to do it. If not, don't try to copy me. Okay, let's dig into it. So, as already mentioned, I don't want to make a tutorial for high voltage installations, but I can show you how I have solved it in a locally legal and acceptable standard. If you use less power on the unit, it is possible to use a standard power supply with a plug on it directly into the power socket on the controller. I will mount everything in this project on my DIY OSB board cap. It has reflective foil inside and is painted white on the outside. This cap was made 8 years ago and has holded several different light solutions, hence all the old screw holes. Here I mounted two 24-volt power cords into the controller itself. The controller is a TC421 Wi-Fi type controller. You can also get the cheaper TC420 controller without Wi-Fi. And that is really what I recommend. I will tell more about that later. No matter what project you do that has several channels, you will end up with quite a lot of wires. It can almost look like a bird's nest. But to truly make it a project that looks good as well as functioning good, I think it is important to plan the wiring and how to hide it well before the project starts. In my case, I cannot mount it inside the cap, so I use external cable channels. As you can see in this clip, there is one double 24-volt cord running in a smaller cable channel from the power supply to the time controller. And I also use a thicker one for the wiring of the LED strips. When everything is done, the channels will end up in the side of the cap that is away from the viewer and hardly visible if you don't know what to look for. So here is a secret tips for content creators that forgot to turn on their cameras. Just do it again. Too bad the holes is already there, but I guess you understand what I'm trying to show. I drilled 4 holes for 4 different LED strips. However, going forward, I realized that I just had 3, so the last holes are for the future upgrades, maybe moonlight. During the build, I realized that the reflectors that came with this LED strip is made for laying on the tank and do not have enough area to be attached to a roof. So I went to the DIY store and got me some standard aluminium U-profiles to mount it on instead. You may think that the reflective foil in the cap is enough, but not really. The reflectors have two functions, and heatsink is one of them. Without it, the LEDs will have a very short lifespan. Speaking of the LED strips, here comes the first one. This is Dusk Tropic LED strips. These particular ones are 20 wattage each, 60 centimeter long, and holds 50% 6500 Kelvin light and 50% 4500 Kelvin light. That is a good mix of grow light as well as color enhancing light. The controller I am using is a very common OEM product. There are several companies that put their own brand on them. You can get one non-branded for around 20 to 40 euros depending on version from any of the big online market platforms. But you may want to choose a locally branded product. It will cost you some more money, but they normally comes with warranty and support if needed. The controller have a common positive connecting screw for all lights used with it. One can choose between taking one cord to each LED strip and screw them all onto the same connecting screw. Or, as I will show you now, use one cord and merge each LED strip onto it. It may look a little bit more advanced, but will leave a prettier and less bulky installation. The first cable was long enough to get all the way to the controller, so the first cable merged is the second LED strip. Basically what I do is to put one cord onto the positive connection on the controller and put an isolating shrinkable hose on it. I cut it long enough to reach the cable from the LED strip. Before I twin it all together and shrink that hose onto it, I also add one more cable that feeds the third LED strip. As for now, I do the same for the fourth LED strip, which I do not have at this point. But at least it is prepared for it, and I may get a chance to make an update to this video, building Moonlight for my terrarium. If you do not want to miss that, please subscribe to my channel. Here you can see how a heat gun on lowest setting shrinks that hose onto the merged cables and makes a very neat installation. The negative cables on the controller are 5 of them, one for each of the 5 channels it comes with. So here we cannot merge the cables and just extend each and every cable to the correct attachment screw on the controller. In this build, I only utilize 3 or 4 channels depending if you count the Moonlight or not. Using less than the available 5 channels is no problems whatsoever. All you do is to run the surplus channels on 0% at all times. Now, when all cables are cut into the correct length and merged with shrinkable hose, what I do now is simply close the cable channel onto it. Or at least, I thought it was easy. It turned out I have used slightly too much heat from the heat gun and the cable channel has gotten out of shape. The situation could be solved, it just took longer time to get it to close and stay closed. In the best of situations, I will not need to open it again until future upgrades anyway. In this clip you can see me connecting the last of the 4 channels. The one that will not be used for now, but maybe in the future. So, it is all done. The work took me around 4 hours to complete, including finding parts and tools in my very messy workshop. After measuring up all the installations to secure that there are no bad connections or shortcuts, it is time to test if this thing works. I have already connected the controller to my computer and uploaded an old program, so I know for sure it will turn on when given mains power. So let's custom make a program for my terrarium. The TC420 and the TC421 both comes with its own software for programming. The TC420 is the easiest one to use, but neither of them is really easy. Earlier this year I found this third-party software created by a German aquarium enthusiast. It is called the TC420 app and can be downloaded for free online. A big thank you from me to Stefan Urin that has spent his valuable time creating such an awesome software for free. The clip you see right now is from the very first time I opened the app. I had never used it before, had no expectation, and I had not yet read the user manual. Simply, I just opened the app and started to play around. Although a bit speeded up for your convenience, it just took me slightly more than 4 minutes to understand the graphical user interface and to do my very first own light scheme. That is how one wants a good software to be. Easy to understand and free. Don't you agree? So when the light scheme is created and saved in the app, one simply connects the computer to the controller and upload it. If the program is successfully uploaded to the controller, it will respond by turning itself off and restart. The program have a demo function on it where you can test your light cycle in different speeds to just understand what you have created without waiting for 24 hours. For you, I have just created short clips on sunrise and sunset and speeded it up quite a lot. Bear in mind that both of them is a total of 3 hours in real time. I am very happy with the result. So that's about it. Very easy and convenient system for those of you that wants to go the extra mile for a beauty terrarium or aquarium. I did promise to talk a little bit about the Wi-Fi controller. Is it worth the extra money? And yeah, I will actually keep it simple and just say no, it's not. We live in a time where we think that every gadget that has a Wi-Fi makes it even better. But really, this Wi-Fi, it connects to your phone. You can change the program used from your phone within 30 meters of your house. And if you're that lazy that you don't want to go to your terrarium and change the settings, I mean, honestly, why do you have a terrarium? I go to my terrarium several times a day just to check out the animals and feed and yeah, trim plants and everything that I do. So really, the Wi-Fi one is just a totally waste of money. Anyway, that's all I have for you today, folks. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, stay safe. Bye!